welcome back to my Top 10 series. A few months back, I did a video on what I think are the best soundtracks on Disney World rides. Today we'll go back in time and see if I could trigger some nostalgia by talking about music that's no longer with us. But just like last time, I won't be playing the songs here out of fear I'll get copyrighted into oblivion. But I highly suggest you go back and listen to all 10 of these songs. So without further ado, let's jump into entry number 10. Anyone who watches this channel knows how much I love Horizons, but the music for this attraction isn't the best if I'm being totally honest. I was actively looking for other songs to put over this one, but finally settled on this being number 10 because I couldn't think of anything else better to put on here. Let me know in the comments what you think would have been a better option. The instrumental you'll hear me use in shorts is iconic in its own way, but the full lyrical version of the song is pure 80s camp, and I don't mean that in a good way. It always reminded me of a song that would have fit right in for a benefit concert like Live Aid. It transports you back to a time where neon signs were on every street corner, and every room in your house had a mandate of having no less than 3 plastic potted plants in every room. "20,000 Leagues Under the Sea" really does have an underrated soundtrack, but I think it fits best here at number 9. The music in this queue gives off Pirates of the Caribbean vibes with its upbeat accordion music. But once on board the Nautilus, the mood becomes a little more dire. The organ music sways and swells the further down into the depths you go. What holds us back from being higher is the soundtrack is made more for ambiance and background music, rather than being the centerpiece of the attraction like Grim Grinning Ghost is to the Haunted Mansion. But go back and check this one out, I think it's better than you remember it being. The Great Movie Ride will be missed for bringing the silver screen to life, but not so much remembered for the music they use to underscore each scene. From Indiana Jones to Tarzan, if you grew up with any of these movies, I think it's safe to say you'll love the soundtrack. But my conspiracy theory of why we lost this ride in the first place was how much Disney paid for the Wizard of Oz scene. As always, when covering this attraction, I apologize in advance for my Spanish speaking viewers because I'm about to butcher this pronunciation. But rewatching El Rio de Tiempo made me remember how good the music actually was. Each scene's song is tied to an era. So when you float inside the temple, the music had a tribal feel to it powered by heavy drums. While as you go into more modern day Mexico, the music switches to mariachi. This ride really doesn't get talked about as much as it should, and it's a shame we didn't appreciate it when we had it. Some of you saw this title and may be confused as to why a ride still in the Magic Kingdom made this list. So for those of you who actually have lives, let me explain. The song this attraction opened with and what we know now is "There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow." But from 1974 to 1993, we had a song called "The Best Time of Your Life." Sure, the main reason behind the change was to send subliminal messages to consumers to buy more GE products, but it doesn't change the fact this song is a banger and well deserving of almost a top 5 spot on this list. For those of you who thought Living with the Land couldn't get any better, its predecessor Listen to the Land had it all. Live tour guides, giant glowing plants and pumpkins, and of course the best folk style song ever made. But be warned, if you look this song up, it'll be stuck in your head for at least 2 weeks. Delta Dreamflight soundtrack runs the gambit of that bouncy 80s keyboard sound to big swing jazz, with also some international flavor as you fly over Japan. It really is one of the most diverse medleys you'll find in any Disney attraction, past or present. It does fit in surprisingly well in Tomorrowland with its use of synthesizers. It's a shame this ride had to be permanently delayed. Before we get into Splash Mountain, I'd like to thank my viewer Alex for coming up with the idea for this entire list. He said this ride would be his number one, and although it's not mine, I can't really say I blame him. As someone who was late to the party on Splash Mountain because I was too afraid of thrill rides when I was younger, I could honestly say I missed out on a great ride and a great soundtrack. How Do You Do, Everyone's Got a Laughing Place, and of course Zippity Doo Dah are all Disney classics. This is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of Disney ride soundtracks. If You Had Wings is a deep cut when it comes to extinct Disney World attractions. And probably the only reason I remember this ride existing was my brother telling me this was his favorite ride growing up. Normally I'd make fun of us both for being old, but this falls under the so cheesy it's good category. In a time where you had to pay for each ride you wanted to go on, If You Had Wings was completely free. And what patrons were treated to was a catchy chorus that repeated the name of the ride. Was it breaking new ground? Probably not. But much like Adam Cole, the best way to get yourself over is to say your name over and over again. Depending on who you are, this may be the most underwhelming number one choice of all time. But in my opinion, It's Fun to Be Free from World of Motion is the best song we'll never get back. Written by Disney legends Buddy Baker and Extencio, this soundtrack followed their signature writing structure. Similar to the Haunted Mansion and Pirates, the song plays throughout the attraction, but is changed depending on the scene. If you go back and listen to just one song, I ask you to give this one a try. But that'll do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this top 10 list and look forward to you joining me on the next upload. So until next time, drop a like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if I earned it, and thank you for watching.